This shit's be recorded live up in this piece.
Welcome to Ashtray Candy, Pod 6.
6.
Here we are again, folks.
Once again, back again.
You know, I think something we should probably tell the viewers at home is how we came up with the name Ashtray Candy, how it was born.
Oh, Ashtray Candy.
Do you remember how it was born?
Yeah, this was way back, early 2000s, wasn't it?
A long time ago.
It was a long time ago. And that was when we were living together on Gladstone. Yeah. That was a nice little place, 2-bedroom basement. It was cool. We had that workout bench down there that none of us used. But it was there.
It was down there just in case.
We would go down there and look at it once in a while and be like, it looks nice down here. But never did lift it. But yeah, I remember when I first moved in, we both smoked, but I couldn't find an ashtray. I guess I didn't buy one, or the ones I had lost. But one thing I did find, as I'm unpacking stuff, I found this old-fashioned big candy dish. It was from my aunt, my great-great-aunt. So it's pretty old. It was nice.
It was like a huge white
it was
bowl-looking thing.
It wasn't ceramic, was it? But it was
I think
breakable, like glass.
Porcelain.
Yeah, it was like porcelain. It was real nice. Had little flowers painted on it and everything, and a mural on the inside, but it was perfect size for a giant ashtray. So we started using that as an ashtray, and it's so huge we didn't have to dump it out every.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would just let the cigs build and build. There'd be probably 100 cigarettes in there, man. And you'd have to go dump it out in the trash outside.
Yeah.
Since it was a candy dish, but we used it for an ashtray. I guess that's how the name came about. We just Ashtray Candy. We thought was funny. And also, I remembered. I think I broke it on accident.
I think you did.
We were playing a wrestling game.
Yeah.
On Nintendo 64, I think.
I believe I whooped that ass.
No
and
mercy.
got upset.
Yeah. Well, we would always go back and forth, but we would we would take the game seriously because we both were good at it. Yeah. And one time, you had beaten me, and I swear I didn't mean to do it, but I meant to throw the controller down, like I was angry, like ah. But as I did that, yanked my hand down with the controller, I hit the side of that candy dish, and it flipped it.
Yeah.
And all the cigarettes went everywhere, and the dish landed on the floor, and I think it broke. And I was like, oh, my God. And you're like, you got kind of scared. You're like, well, calm down, man.
I thought you were pissed off or something.
You thought I broke it on purpose.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I didn't.
No, the candy dish.
I was like, I didn't mean to. I meant to throw the controller down, but it hit the side of the dish, flipped it over, broke. Hundreds of cigarettes went everywhere, made a mess. And I kicked you in the chin for real. And then when you regain consciousness, you helped me pick up the 6.
Jesus.
but yeah, Ashtray Candy.
That's how it came to be.
I remember people would come over. Like, where's your ashtray? And it was just shove this big ass candy dish towards them. Like,
Here you go. Had a mound of cigarettes in it.
You gotta empty that shit. I was like,
no, that's the beauty of it. It's so freaking big.
Yeah.
That it looked almost like a bowl. Like we say candy dish, but it almost looked like one of those big old fruit bowls that you see
it was
on
big.
the centerpiece or something.
It was nice too, painted. I would have kept it, and after dumping the cigs, I would have kept it, washed it, if when we moved. But I broke it because I got mad at a wrestling game.
Yeah, well, those were intense moments. Those wrestling games. We used to put on a clinic, back in the day.
Well, we played them, especially like No Mercy. Now it's back in Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
A lot of people will never know what that's like. That was like the machine of our early 20s. That there was a good 5 years where that was the system. Everybody loved the 64. Late 90s, I think it came out in 98, 99 probably.
I believe so, yeah. Right
Goldeneye,
before the 2000.
Yeah, GoldenEye 007 was a popular game.
Double
Mario Kart.
Yeah,
007 was huge because that was the first time you could play with 4 people on the same screen in the same house because you had 4 controllers.
Every person that you went to their house, I remember back in the day.
I played that.
They always had it on the TV, man.
That or Mario Kart was big. But yeah, we played No Mercy. It was the first WWF game at the time to come out, and it was awesome. Because it had all the wrestlers, different outfits, all the moves, and we were huge wrestling fans growing up, and still are. But at the time, we got a kick out of it because we knew all the wrestlers and we knew all their moves and the finishing moves. It was a lot of fun. We played that stuff for hours, man. We'd create our own characters. And
there's No Mercy, but wasn't there? There's another one.
On the
Didn't it have
64?
WCW guys? There was an Executioner guy or something, I remember.
There was one, that came out. It was made by the same company, I think. That's why it was real similar.
Nitro or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like WCW, Nitro, or NWO or something.
I remember us playing that, too.
Because we played that, because that came out before the WWF game. And we kind of liked it, but we weren't huge WCW fans.
No.
So we're like, we like the gameplay, but we don't like the characters.
Right.
But then when the WWE one, WWF at the time came out, No Mercy, that was right up our alley. Because it was the same type of game, but all the characters we knew and grew up with. So yeah.
Speaking of wrestling, lost another legend.
King Kong Bundy.
It's weird because since we started this podcast just over a month ago, we've lost Mean Gene Okerlund.
Yeah.
We've lost King Kong Bundy. There was another one too. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure.
A couple.
It's weird. It's like all the legends we grew up with are just passing away, man. I almost wanted to do
many are gone.
I almost wanted to do a giveaway at our 1,000th subscriber.
Yeah.
I have a you remember the old LGN big rubber wrestling figurines?
Oh yeah.
I actually have one of King Kong Bundy, and I thought whoever is our 1,000th subscriber, we got a lot of ways to go. We're only at 34 subscribers. I would mail them my King Kong Bundy figurine. Yeah. But then I was like, well, how do you know which one is the 1,000th subscriber? And what if it doesn't happen until like 50 years from now, we finally reach 1,000 subscribers?
Maybe we could do 100.
The 100?
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. To get that seems like a big thing to...
We're kind of hovering on, 33?
Yeah, 34.
Bing, bing, bing. Winner. Chicken dinner.
We probably should do something at 100 subscribers, man. That would give people incentive to push that little button.
Yeah. Share, subscribe, all them things that you got to do.
Yeah, do them. Why not? Come on.
Yeah.
We're not bad, folks.
No.
Only on the weekends. But
bada bing.
No, but seriously, if you enjoy the podcast, we enjoy you listening to us. So
definitely.
Yeah, man. If you like it, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Yeah, it helps us out a lot. And this is the 6th episode. So it's kind of the creepy episode, I guess.
Creepy, huh?
Well, 6 is, some people have a weird. Oh,
that guy, Luke Perry, he died. That guy from 90210.
Yeah.
Remember, my sisters watched that show religiously, man.
I remember that show growing up.
It's always huge. It was a big hit back then. I mean, everybody our age watched that. I mean, I didn't really care for it that much because, I wanted more action-packed stuff. I didn't care about the romance and drama. But I remembered Luke Perry. He seemed like a nice guy. It was kind of shocking to hear he died of a
heart
stroke. He had a massive. They said a massive sroke. I'm like, man, he seemed.
You look at a guy like that, he seems all thin and healthy.
Yeah, pretty healthy, and just out of nowhere, man, stroke.
But
I told you I was close to having a stroke, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
Because of my blood pressure. Same thing could have happened to me if I never would have known about it. Good thing I found out about how alive it was when I did. Take medicine ever since.
Yeah. Stuff happens when you get older, man. But
that's what the EMT told me when he was taking me to the hospital. He was like, do you want to have a stroke or a heart attack? I was like, no. He was like, well, then you got to do something about your blood pressure.
Wow.
Good thing I went, though, like I said, because it was like 200 over like 100. I mean, it was dangerous.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's much better now.
Yeah, I need to go for a checkup eventually, but stuff's expensive, man. Going up to the doctor's expensive.
Unless you give them, you go in there and want treatment and you just don't bring ID and just tell them a different name. They'll still treat you while you're there. You'll still get treatment. And then when you leave, they can bill, Jedediah Johnson or whoever name you give.
Yeah, but can't they? They need your social security. Everyone has a
No,
social
they don't
security
need that.
number.
Just tell them you don't know.
No, I don't know my social security.
Last time somebody asked me, I just said it's 2856. They said there's and they're like, there's more numbers than that. And I said, well, that's all I can remember. I'm sorry.
Just add a few more numbers.
Yeah, I said, well, just make up what you please.
Speaking of which, you remember the story about Bubba Ray Dudley and what's his name? The manager, the advocate, Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman, yeah.
He was supposed to send him something through FedEx. Paul Heyman was supposed to send this Bubba Ray Dudley something in a package from FedEx, and he said, well, I haven't received the package yet. And he's like, well, maybe it's still in transit, you know? He's like, well, what's the number so I can check it? And he was like, oh, it's like 064606. And he was like, well, there's supposed to be 3 more numbers on it.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll just add something to it, 712. And he was just, you're an asshole.
Yeah, he was straight up lying. Basically admitted to it, like, I'll just add some more numbers. I'm lying.
I thought that was funny.
Speaking of doctors, you want to tell that story that we had?
Oh, Kelvin
years
stories.
ago?
Yeah. That goes back to that
Story.
man-eats own beard skit. Well, okay, that doctor. Okay, this happened years and years ago. I was having some kidney problems, and so I was in the hospital, and Trent came to visit me.
I did, dressed up in my best sweater.
It was like,
My grandma just bought me a sweater, so I felt like I needed to wear it.
I remember I said, what are you doing in that Cosby sweater? And you were like, God, dude, my grandma got me this.
She did. It wasn't, my grandma bought me the sweater, so I felt like I'd respect for her, I'd wear it. But of course, it did look like a Cosby sweater.
It was nice.
It was nice.
I remember it was like a gray sweater with like a bunch of red and maroonish.
Red, maroon, and black, a couple stripes or something.
It was straight up Cosby.
It was definitely a Cosby sweater that he'd wear.
So you're in there, and we're talking or whatever. All of a sudden, this doctor, who I'd never really seen before, but I guess he was a specialist. Mm-hmm. But he just kind of came in, and I remember he asked, I have to do a physical. He's like, do you want him out of the room?
He asked if he wanted me to leave the room, and I said, well, at first, he started asking questions, remember?
Yeah, like really weird questions, though. Like, have you ever had anal sex?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah,
and I guess it was
I guess he kept looking back and forth at you and me because
yeah, he thought I don't know what
he thought either, but I just remember thinking I'm his friend. I'm just here for support. And then he was like, well, after a couple of these weird questions, he told you like I'm going to do a physical. I'm going to do that, and then that's when I took it upon myself to be like, well, right. I'm going to excuse myself and I'll go out. I'm not going to stick around just watch you get a physical. So I went out in the hallway. For a couple minutes, and I remember he walked out after a few minutes and he left. So I went back in and talked to you, and you're like, "Man, that was just really weird." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, he
juggled my bajangas."
Yeah, juggled the ball sack, and then
he said, "Oh, your doctor will see you soon."
And then he left.
Or your doctor will be in here soon. And I was just like, "Well, wait a minute."
I thought you were the doctor.
This dude I thought was the doctor. Like, what? Who? This guy just come up here off the street?
Yeah. And he could have been anybody, just dressed up in a doctor suit and just wanted a cheap feel.
But no, I think what he was...
Because he did say, well, your doctor be in a minute. And I remember you told me that, and I was like, what? I was like, that wasn't the doctor? That could have been anybody.
He did have a lab
He could have gone in room to room telling people he was a doctor, just feeling ball sack after sack.
I'm sure there's a case in history where some weird ass has done that.
Weirdo had, definitely.
This guy was actually a specialist, though. He claimed to be. I'm sure I got billed for him coming up there.
This is before... cell phones were real popular and all that. I remember he could have done that, and nobody would have ever known.
I remember around that time. This is to give you some clarity on how long ago it was. What was it? The Phantom Menace, the second Star Wars
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
It was the day after we saw that movie.
Yeah, that had just
that night you went to the hospital.
Yeah, that had just been released out at theaters. So that tells you how old that is.
2002.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
2002. Yeah, probably about 2002.
Yep.
Oh, so yeah, that was a little crazy story. Well, getting on to the same type of story, we both have a similar experience with dentists.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to a dentist, and I won't say his name, but the guy could not pull teeth. And I remember I was just talking to him, and I was like, okay, you're a dentist, so if something happens to your teeth, I said, do you operate on yourself or what? And he was like, because I thought it was a good question, you know, and he's like, no, I have other dentist friends, and we'll trade
favors.
Yeah, we'll do, you know, work on each other or whatever. I was like, oh, I always wondered if you sat there with a mirror and, you know, did your own
That'd be
teeth.
kind of hard.
But yeah, man, this guy, he actually pulled one of my teeth, and he left a bit of it up in my nasal passage. And he was like, well, he's like, this shouldn't give you problems, but if it does, he's like, come back and I'll have to extract it for free. He was like, but we'll have to cut into your gum and like all this horrible stuff. And this guy literally, kind of similar to your story, he would put his knee onto like, he wouldn't put it on my chest, but he would put it like on the side of the thing and just pull, and I could hear this tooth like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could hear the roots and Oh yeah.
This guy was using brute force to try to get this tooth out, and it's like after that last time, he said, "Well, I can't get all of your tooth out." I thought, "I'm never going to you again."
I hate going to the dentist.
Well, I've had a similar story.
I've had the dentist I go to now. I really like her. She's the best one I've had, and she's done a lot of good work for me. Some of them, like you said, similar. I've had one where they've had to cut into the gum because some of the tooth broke, and that sucks, and it bleeds a lot, and But yeah, the first time I ever actually got teeth pulled, like removed, were a couple of my back teeth about 10 or so years ago. I don't remember where this guy was from. I mean, he was nice enough, Middle Eastern or something, I think, but he was nice. So he seemed to have a little bit of trouble getting. I mean, I never knew what it was going to... I knew it wasn't going to feel good, but I never had my teeth pulled, so I didn't know how long it was going to take or what it felt like. First one I felt like it came out easy, still kind of hurts, even though you're numbed up.
Yeah.
I think it was this... I think I got 3 removed. And it was the second one he still had trouble with. Kind of moved around, he was sweating a little bit. But the third one, that's the one that he had real bad problems with, and...
Well, he took a break, didn't he?
I think he kept doing it, and it was just not coming, and yanking it. Like, he was yanking it, like, left to right, like, and my jaw was like, and it was, like, hurting real bad, even though I was numb. I could tell it just didn't feel right. I felt like he was breaking my jaw. And it's like he got so frustrated with himself and at the tooth, like, he started sweating real bad, and he started getting in better position, and he was putting his foot up on this bench, and he still couldn't. Then he put his knee almost into my chest to lean up further, into my mouth, and he was
trying to get leverage.
And I saw it in his eyes. He was manic. He was like, "I've got to get this fucking tooth." He's like, "I will not be defeated by a tooth," and he couldn't get it. It was going on for 15 minutes, and he said, He's like, I don't know if I could do it. I might have to send you to an oral surgeon, specialist. I don't know. And he storms out and goes out the side door, and I was like, man,
you're hurting here.
I'm like, yeah, the tooth's not all the way out still. It's throbbing, it's hurting. My jaw feels like it's broke. So what I figured, he went out and took a break, maybe had a smoke break or something, and then got a second wind. Because when he came back, he was marching straight to me, like he was determined,
serious about it.
He was like, he got a second wind. He was like, yeah, he took it personal, and then without saying a word, he was like, put his mask on, and went right back to it. I'm like, but he finally got it, but it was breaking. Something was breaking. I could hear it. He was like, I'll get it. But he was talking to himself, and he was like, I'll get you. I'll get you.
You damn
Get it out of here.
You fucking
He's like, get it out of here. He finally got, gets it, and I'm bleeding everywhere from the other teeth too. But, they put sutures in it or whatever, and they disintegrate or dissolve after a week. But I go home, they give me medicine. They didn't really even give me much painkillers at all, considering how bad I was in pain.
Yeah,
and by the time,
he doesn't do that.
When I went home, this is why I thought my jaw was broken, because I had a hard time talking, and the left side of my face, where he was working on that tooth for a long time, it's swollen up like the size of almost, like a grapefruit. It was big. Like my whole left side of my cheek and my jaw area, right? It just swelled up so big. And it didn't look right. It was swollen up so big, it was like, my left eye was getting kind of closed up like that. So I remember calling him and like, man, you messed me up. You got me jacked up. And I was like, you need to help me out with the painkillers. He's like, the crap you gave me to do with nothing. He's like, oh no, I will not help you. And I was like, what? He's like, I don't do that. And I was like,
I don't believe in the painkillers.
Yeah, he was like, I don't do that. I don't do that. You take the aspirin. And I was like, what the hell? What kind of dentist? I was like, dude, I think you really broke my jaw. I'm in a lot of pain. He's like, well, I
cannot help you.
Yeah, he's like, can't do it. I'm sorry. Goodbye. That was that. I never went back to him again, though.
I don't blame you.
When
Someone puts their knee up into your chest and it's like...
I swear, dude, he was like maniacal almost, especially that second time when he was like marching straight to me, like with a purpose. Didn't say a word. I thought he was done with me because I thought he'd given up because he was so frustrated. But then he comes back like 10 minutes later after taking his footwork, whatever he did, and he was just...
Well, go ahead to get this
he threw on his visor and his gloves real quick, no word said. He just got right back into that knee in the chest position. And he was talking to him, and I remember his brow. He was sweating real bad on his brow, like he was just really... And he was talking to himself, and like I said, he was just like, I'll get you. Get it out of here. Like,
oh, goodness.
But, yeah, he finally got it. But, yeah, my jaw was swollen for about a week and a half after that. The thing that hurt the worst is I was leaving for California a few days later. Me and Jace were driving.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, man, that's why I called him before I left, because I wanted painkiller, because I was legit hurting really bad, and he didn't give me any. I was like, what dentist actually removes teeth and doesn't give you anything for the pain? It tells you to take Tylenol was not doing jack.
Right.
I was like, dude, you legit, I think you broke my jaw. I will not help you. That's what he said. And I know that they word things sometimes the way they talk from the Middle East. Maybe they say a word, but it sounded like he was being rude to me. Like, I will not help you. But maybe he was saying, I can't help you.
That thing, probably.
But just the way he said it, I was like, I'm not helping you, son. I'm going to come barge them doors down. Come up in there and give you a stone cold stunner.
Well, this is kind of getting way off topic, but
oh, that's all right.
You say barge the doors down, and we're talking about the Middle East and over in that part of the world. I have did some little bit of research here on the topic.
We'll go right ahead.
Padmanabhaswamy Temple. You ever heard of it?
No.
It's located in Kerala, India, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the richest temple known in the world. The entire temple itself is covered in gold, and it dates back to 500 BC.
Mm.
So it's really freaking old, golden, rich temple. It primarily serves as a place of worship, with the primary deity being Vishnu, and the entrance to
Vishnu.
The deity Vishnu. Mm-hmm. And the entrance, you can only gain access to it if you're a Hindu. But in 2011, there was an order from the Indian Supreme Court that there are basically 6 known vaults underneath the temple, right? There's like vaults that were sealed. So the Indian Supreme Court made an order to open the temples to see what's inside of them. Mm-hmm. When they did, they found precious stones and metals, along with gold, and there were even gold coins dated to around 200 BC.
Did they find a lost ark?
Well, here's the thing. There's still one door that they can't open. Mm-hmm. But all the treasure combined that they found was estimated to be worth billions, if not trillions of dollars.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and all of these treasures came from the 5 vaults because the 6th vault is still sealed. And it's a crazy-looking door. It actually has, like, serpent heads and stuff like that on it. And it has no locks. It has no keyholes, no latches, nothing like that. But the serpent's heads, it serves as like a warning to anyone trying to open it. Like, you're going to be cursed, pretty much. Now, it's said that the door can only be opened by use of a ritual performed by a Hindu monk. And the Hindu monk must be powerful enough to perform this mantra. Mm-hmm. And as of yet, there has not been anyone capable of opening it.
There's no Hindu monk that is powerful enough.
Not yet, and now actually a lot of people are against opening the vault because they're afraid of what could happen.
It could be something bad, like the mummy.
Yeah, and they're saying the deity, the Vishnu, I don't know how.
Vishnu.
They don't want it open.
Don't want the wrath of Vishnu.
They don't want it open. But in 1908, there was a failed attempt to open the vault.
And they were cursed For all time.
But they quickly left because they found that one of the vaults was infested with cobras. Yeah. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. It's that door's always just wonder what's behind it. And a lot of religious devotees they've appealed the government's order of another exploration because they don't want it opened. Because it is believed the opening of the inner chamber, the opening of this door, will cause untold catastrophic events of apocalyptic proportions.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Check it out.
Sounds like The Mummy Part 4.
It could be. Padmanabhaswamy Temple. Check it out.
I'm going to have to read into that.
Yeah, it's interesting. The door itself looks actually kind of creepy, but...
Well, it is kind of interesting considering how old those things are, and that you still can't open the door.
Yeah.
Like there's something, maybe there is something supernatural that's keeping it closed. Vishnu is the one with the 4 arms, right?
I believe so, yeah.
That's what I thought.
But that's the thing. It's weird to think that a door could only be opened by chanting. You know what I mean? That's almost like Lord of the Rings or some shit, you know?
Speak, friend, and enter.
Yeah.
Belloc. Maybe they just don't know the Belloc. That's what he spoke, and then the door opened.
And
we should tell him.
What do you think would be behind there? You think it's just more treasures? Maybe the look of it, I think it's a bunch of snakes and shit. But how long could a snake live in there?
Not that long, unless they keep reproducing.
I mean,
over and over and over. But
if this temple was built they don't really
5
know.
BC or before.
Yeah, 500 BC. There's no cobra that can live that freaking long.
Unless it is truly supernatural somehow, or not some kind of demon snake.
I don't know. I mean,
maybe it wouldn't be anything good back there. I mean, just going by movies and books in general, you never really want to open the ancient doors because they always have something bad behind them. Unless you're Indiana Jones or something and you got the right artifact to ward off the curse or reverse it, like the Holy Grail or something. Where's Indiana Jones when you need him?
Yeah, he could open the thing, probably. Well, I mean,
It probably would be some weird beast or something.
I don't know what would be in there. It could just be more treasures. It could just be an empty vault. I don't know.
What if it was empty? Just like Al Capone's safe.
Goodness. You remember that?
Geraldo Rivera. That was a huge thing. And that was in the 80s, but I remember it was a huge deal because they promoted it for months and months live on TV. It was a big event.
Ratings shot up when that came on.
They didn't do a whole lot of live stuff other than sports around that time, especially when it comes to reporting. They're like, we're going to open Al Capone's safe. We found it. After all these years, who knows what's in there? Could be millions of dollars,
could be
pictures,
dead bodies, could
documents about killings and stuff, incriminating evidence, maybe all kinds of stuff. And it was live. They hyped it up, and I remember watching it too. I think everybody watched it around that time.
Yeah,
your parents watched it
too. Oh yeah, we watched it.
We watched it too. And they watch it, and they're all hyping it, and they build up to it, and they open up the safe, and there's nothing there.
There's nothing in there.
It was like cobwebs and stuff.
People were like, "Oh, this is all set up."
Oh, you could tell Geraldo was so embarrassed. He didn't know what to say because it's live on TV, so he's still got to try to keep energy. But he's like, "Oh, well, folks, we're really disappointed. It's not what we thought it was going to be. Apologize for that." But
that's when he went on TV the next day, and someone broke his nose with that chair. They were mad. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. That was a racial show, actually.
I do remember he got his nose broken because somebody had wooden chairs. He threw it, and it smacked him in the nose, and he bled everywhere. Then he started coming to the show with the Band-Aid over his nose.
What happened to shows like that, like talk shows like that? Now they're all the same thing. Like, you're not the father.
I don't know. I think you had Geraldo there for a while.
Donahue. Who I always thought was kind of weird because the way he talked was just.
Yeah, and he was kind of confrontational, but he never really got onto the angles like Jerry Springer did.
No, I think Jerry Springer hired a lot of low bid actors.
And he knew he just did it for ratings, and he knew that because I knew a person that I went to high school with, a girl that went on there, and her episode was her little person boyfriend. Little person was cheating on her. I hadn't seen her since graduation, but I ran into her like at the store one day, And we recognized each other and said, hey, how you doing? And I just happened to bring that up. Well, hey, I actually saw you on Jerry Springer. Was all that, was that really true? Were you dating that little person and he cheated on you? I felt like it was okay to ask because it was on television.
Right.
And she's like, oh, no, that was all fake. They paid me to be there. They tell you what to say. And I was like, oh, I knew it. She didn't say, I didn't ask how much you got paid, but I think they paid for the hotel for the day or two that you're there, food.
Probably $100 or some shit. Like nothing extravagant. I mean,
she told me straight up that, she's like, none of that was true. He's like, they basically tell you what to say before you go out there. They give you like a guideline, and then you kind of just improv.
Well, you can kind of tell because some of those stories.
And they'll tell you ahead of time, too, if you got to fight. Like, fight. Maybe throw a punch. Don't try not to hurt each other because the security guards will come in and break it up, but make it look realistic. But yeah, Jerry Springer, that we all kind of knew.
Oh yeah, there was a guy. He weighed probably 500 pounds, and he was in love with Spam, and he just would say, "Oh, I like to just put the Spam all over myself," and it's like that's not a real thing. That's not a real.
I like
person.
Spam too,
but not to go rub it on yourself.
No, I would never rub it on myself. But then it went from like he kind of fell off, and then it was like his bodyguard that he had
Steve
on the show,
Wilkos,
he started having a show, and it was kind of similar to Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Maybe not as trashy per se, but still kind of same thing. Then Maury Povich, now he had already been around for a while.
Yeah.
And I think maybe he'd been struggling in his ratings, and then when he started doing the whole paternity test, you are the father. You are not that. Then he's still doing that to this day.
I know.
I just saw it. I was flipped through the TV like 2 days ago, man, and he was doing that still. I was like, dude, you've been doing that stick for 15, 20 years now.
Yeah, but he used to have different...
His ratings shot up after that.
But that's all he does now, and he used to have different topics. I remember there was one time they were trying to figure out if it was a man or a woman. Now, you could do this back on TV back and then.
Yeah.
Now you probably couldn't get away with that because it'd be like, that's...
transphobic or
gender identity. And
but I remember we were that's when we lived at the same place, and you were late to work because we stayed up. We got up early, but we waited. You wanted to watch the whole episode to see what had happened, so you showed up late to work just to finish that episode. But yeah,
these people were getting so angry in the audience. They'd be like, "That's a man."
I think that was some of the best part was watching how the people, the audience, would get so
they would react
angry
just like
or
like
they would be happy. It was the extreme emotion of the audience. Sometimes they'd be like, bah! Yeah, I remember that episode. You couldn't tell if some of these men were female or what, or female was a man. Couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But the audience would be shouting their opinion. That's a damn man. You could hear them.
That is a man. That is a man.
And then when they would tell you the results, everybody would go, "Oh no,
it's
I couldn't
not.
believe it." Yeah, that shit is funny.
Yeah, you had a bunch of those people back in like the 90s and early 2000s. Like, yeah, of course you had Oprah. You had remember Sally Jesse Raphael? Ricky Lake, what the hell happened to her?
Yeah, she was popular there for a while. I don't know what happened to her.
Montel Williams, I think he went to the cannabis industry because he's got, MS or something like that?
I think so, yeah. He still looks the same. I see him do infomercials from time to time for medicine and stuff.
A lot of those people just start doing those infomercials and stuff, man. I don't get it. Shaq, he does tons of them.
What's his name? Yeah, Shaq, but he doesn't need to. He does it because he does it for fun. He said that before. He's like, he just likes to goof off. No, he's
General Gold Bond foot pounder.
He's just like a big kid. He just goofs. And if you watch those commercials, he is just goofing around. He's never serious. He's just like, oh, this stuff burns my back. Ha ha ha! Buy today.
Did you ever see the magician? I think it was Chris Angel or something that made him levitate over the house.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. Yeah. He's just this big old dude, just
7 foot tall dude. Like,
he kind of looked like that. Remember that cigar shaped thing that they said could have been aliens that were coming? That's what he kind of looked like.
Yeah, because he's huge. He's like 7'1". Shaq's the best. I love him. He's a funny dude.
Yeah, he's. I saw him. He
was eating them hot wings the other day. You told me about that show where people will answer questions while they're eating it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched a couple, and it was getting him bad, man. He couldn't help it. He was snotty. He said, "I feel like Snotty Pippen."
Snotty Pippen.
Because snot was dripping down his nose because it was so hot. He was crying. He kept having to wipe himself off. You could tell he was really struggling. Yeah, he said, I feel like Snotty Pippen right now, and that shit made me laugh.
He ate the hottest chip live on the air or something. It's like, what are you doing that for, man? He's just having fun with it.
He told the story about how, him and Charles Barkley are friends, and they do that NBA show. He said, they were asking, like, you got any funny stories about Charles Barkley? He's like, yeah, he doesn't like to wear underwear. And they're like, huh? He said, so what happens sometimes, before the show went on air, we found his slacks he was going to wear that night. So we put a whole bunch of Vaseline and, like, icy hot weird stuff in his slacks.
Good Lord.
So when he puts it on, he gets all wet and squishy in there. But he's already, getting ready to go on TV. Too late to change then. He said, so that was funny.
Do you remember the old Taco Bell commercials with Charles Barkley? Charles Barkley. With Charles Barkley, when they first came out with the $5 box, and he was on there, and he's like, it's a box. It's not. He was like rapping, but it was so horrible.
Oh, yeah. He's not the best when it comes to public speaking.
It's a $5 box. That's what I want. A $5 box. And it was like, what?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's horrible.
It's still a good deal. That $5 box is a good deal. And I like Barkley. He's a funny dude.
Yeah.
You remember him, though, when he was still playing. What did he always say? I'm not a role model. That was him. He said that.
He's a cool dude.
I like Shaq, too. He just seems like a big kid.
He does. He's
7-foot kid.
Just when he was floating over that house, though, that was freaking hilarious, man.
I'll have to watch that again, man. It's been years. I haven't watched Chris Angel Mind Freak since like 2005.
That's about it, don't you think?
Yeah.
For this
Good
episode.
one.
Yeah. Well.
Join us next time.
Yeah.
We'll be back soon. Have another good one for your earbuds.
And hit the subscribe button, people. On YouTube.
Yeah. Tell people about it, like we said.
And have a good day.
Spread the word.
Have a good night.
And a good afternoon.
Peace.